Joining us now on Sports Day Plough, the CEO of the North Melbourne Football Club, Eugene Arocca, in light of exciting news for the Kangaroos as they venture down to Tassie to play football in 2012. To tell us more, Eugene, welcome to the program.
Thanks very much for having me.
Give us a bit of an insight. The federal government has pledged a bit of support to this program at Blundstone Arena.
I guess a couple of points come out. One is that this development will be good for Tasmania as a whole, and in particular for Blundstone Arena, but I guess the workings of politics never cease to amaze. 2 weeks ago, they were formally knocked back by a regional development fund, and 1 week later, the Prime Minister intervened and allocated $15 million to a significant addition by way of a new stand along the western side of the wing. So it's good news for Tassie, good news for Hobart, good news for AFL, and it's pretty good news for North Melbourne Footy Club. But by about 2:15, they should have this new redeveloped stand up and running, and that can only be good for the Kangaroos as part of our development of Tasmania.
Eugene, it's perfect timing for your football club. You know, venturing down to Hobart, I think Hobart have been crying out for football down there, AFL footy down there for some time, and to be in a situation where you're going down there knowing that you're going to have the capability of having a 20,000-seater stadium, I think it's just perfect timing.
Well, the good thing is when you've got a Prime Minister now that understands footy, and, Julia's a very good, strong Bulldog supporter, but also a good supporter of the AFL. It was made very clear to us that this was not just about cricket, which is Mel Reeve's traditional history. It's about cricket and football, and it's no accident that the new redeveloped stand will be along that western side, which will increase the seating capacity probably by another 5,000 seats. Not by accident, new media box, hopefully new coaches boxes. So it's good news for Kangaroos, and I guess it's further vindication. But whenever the AFL sort of comes into town, it sort of brings a bit of a rolling party. And Julia was down there yesterday and was very buoyant about the AFL in Tasmania and in Hobart. And for us, for the Kangaroos, it's vindication that our decision to at least see the next 3 years out in Hobart has been supported by the federal government and Tasmania as a whole.
You just mentioned that rolling party that comes into town when the AFL is in town. How strong will be the Kangaroos base of supporters that come across from Melbourne to come to Hobart? Obviously, you want to get the people from Hobart right behind this venture and really supporting the Kangaroos, but how strong will your own people be in coming over? Because, that helps everything that is around the Hobart area as well.
That's a key driver for why the Tasmanian government and the local councils there were behind this move. What we found with Kangaroo supporters is, whilst we don't have the critical mass of some other clubs, we certainly have a pretty loyal band. And indications are, at least from the people in Tasmania, that a lot of their own members, a lot of our locals are jumping on board. We've got 2,000 members. That's already 700 more than we had in total last year. But we've already had an outstanding response from the Kangaroo supporters in Victoria. It is a very cheap trip across. It's literally, a $100 trip return, depending on the timing of it. Accommodation's relatively easy to get. There's a Spirit of Tasmania. The number of North Melbourne members, and we're talking families en masse, 7, 8, 9, 10 people who've said, we've already booked our accommodation, we're going over for Easter, is something that the Tasmanians are happy to hear. They know that we're there to help the local economy, but bring AFL product. But when we can bring our own travelling group of supporters, we're not talking major numbers. It could be 2, 3, 4,000 people, depending on the timing of the game. The fact that it's on a Sunday in the middle of Easter is helpful, and the second game is on a Sunday early. We're fairly confident based on the sales of Tasmanian upgrades, and we've got about 500 members in Victoria that have already bought tickets to Tasmania. Given it's January, that's a pretty good indication of the fact that, we're going to get a good travelling party.
Yeah, that's a great result. Eugene Arocca, the North Melbourne Football Club CEO, joins us. And Plough, I don't know if you've watched too much sport down at Bellerive, but it is a great place to watch football, so we should encourage people to jump on the Spirit or jump on a flight and head over.
Absolutely, and I just think Hobart in general is a great spot if you haven't been over there very often. I think any time, anywhere where you get water and mountain in the same area, I don't care whether it's in Europe or where it is, I think it's a magnificent spot.
And Eugene, before we let you go, big success last year was the Australia Day training session, and you're coming back for more this year.
Yeah, Brad's been pretty strong on making sure that where possible we give our members as much accessibility to our players as possible. And I don't think we've pioneered the twilight training during summer holidays and during certain times of the year, but certainly I know that last year we had a pretty good success. Even on Good Friday, we had 1,000 people turn up to watch training. So we're back on for Australia Day. It's a good way we put on the snags, we put on a bit of drink, and people come down. It's got a sort of a carnival atmosphere. It's a great day in the middle of a week. It's a Thursday, so it's a little bit different to the past when it's been on a Monday or a Friday. So we expect a pretty good turnout. And the beautiful thing is that our coach is completely behind it, and our players, exhausted as they may be, come off and are willing to sign autographs and stick around and to be photographed. And I know that other clubs have done similar things that have set pretty strict time limits on how long the players will stick around and sign autographs. I remember on Family Day, Drew literally missed his lunch because he stood out there while the other players had gone in and kept signing and signing. So we pride ourselves on that accessibility, and Australia Day is a great opportunity for members to come down and see the players, have a chin wag, have a photo, sign a few autographs, and have a barbecue.
Eugene, greatly appreciate your time, as always, here on Sports Day. For those Kangaroos fans that like to jump aboard, call 1300 Kangas. That's 1300 526 427. 1300 526 427. Eugene, exciting times around the football club. We'll catch up with you down the track.
Thanks very much, Tristan, and Terry, it's great for your support. And I might add, we've already cracked the 18,000 mark for North Melbourne. That's never been achieved in the second week of January, so the response has been great. And again, thanks for the support of your radio station and network. It's been great.